Hey guys, what's up? It's Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing an album review on the new McKinley Dixon album, Magic Alive! So, rapper, songwriter, producer, musician McKinley Dixon is back with a new album, and I think last year? I think it was just last year, or I think it was 2 years ago, he released the album Beloved, Paradise, Jazz, and it is a pretty solid album. I thought it is an interesting addition to the growing jazz rap scene, and also since Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, I think I've been yearning for more jazz rap than ever, and finally it seems like we have a successor to this new, big, bold jazz rap scene, and so McKinley Dixon's music has been more exciting than ever. That said though, even though I think Beloved Paradise Jazz is a really great album, it still doesn't quite reach the heights that I think it could, until Magic Alive, of course, which is basically the episode 2, the next part, the sequel to this new, colorful, explosive jazz rap scene. Except this time we have even more jazz, even more storytelling, even catchier, and it's also just about half an hour long. It's short, sweet, but also very dense and very creative and colorful. Now, on top of that, we also have a concept in this album, and the concept being that this is about three friends trying to bring the fourth friend back via magic. There are a lot of allusions on this album lyrically to resurrections, mortality, prayer, life, memories, nature, and it's so absolutely creative and interesting, and easily one of the most interesting albums this year so far. So, album opens off with Watch My Hands, which I think is a pretty humble intro track with beautiful flutes and clear pianos. Lyrically, I think McKinley Dixon really sets up the world and also asks himself, why the hell am I writing this album? Why the hell am I writing about death when none of y'all have experienced death? It's a little prologue to the album, a little disclaimer, a little self-reflective moment before taking the full plunge into the main story of the album. Following that, we have Sugar Water, which starts off really energetic with horns, shuffly cowbells, sneaky pianos, very nice background vocal layers. It's all so explosive and dense, and also very refreshing considering how homogenized and saturated the hip-hop instrumentals are nowadays. Hearing something like this is just fantastic. Quelle Chris is featured on this track, and he talks about celebrating friends who had passed away, which reinforces the overarching theme of the album. Then we have Crooked Stick, which continues to serve us more with jazzy drums, a very slick bass, and also a feature from Gaze Guevara, who is just on fire on this track. Wow. Anyways, the next track, Recitative, is a more free-form track with chopped harps, dusty drums, and a very impressive beat switch in the second half. Lyrically, it's more dealing with racial injustice, racial inequality, but of course from a very creative and interesting angle. And then following that, we have Run 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 Part 2, which is a sequel to the original, of course, and we have the instrumentals, which are completely different from the original Run Run Run. This time we have big drums, big horns, and McKinley Dixon raps with a real sense of urgency in his very consistent flows, and also lyrically it's about success and fame, religion as a means to cope, and more allusions to resurrections, concrete bending, I guess, as some kind of imagery which alludes to, I guess, gravestones kind of cracking open or something. Then we have We're Outside, Rejoice, which is a much more laid back track than the previous track. We have hand drums and keyboards. I like them. I just think this track pales just a tiny bit in comparison with the last track. Now we have All the Loved Ones, What Would We Do, which is a song lyrically about motherhood and memories, and then we have a feature which then raps about self-defense, but also motherhood as well. Then FFOL, we have swelling guitars, moody keyboard, very consistent flows. I think it's not bad per se, but instrumentally it does feel a little bit more cramped and messy than other tracks on the album. But we entered the last leg of the album, and it's just absolutely the best. We have Listen Gentle, which starts off with marching drums, and then it's building up, it's jazzy, it's passionate, it's emotional, but then in the second half of the track it sort of loses the drums and it just becomes this beautiful, heavenly, orchestral thing. And then we also have lyrics like I'd kill myself to bring you back, how's that magic alive, which not only recalls the overall theme of the album about sacrifice and mortality, but also it anticipates us for the next track, Magic Alive, the title track, which is basically the climax of the album. If the album is a movie, and it's just this really passionate and energetic track with explosive flutes and chants and groovy drums. It's just insane. And then just when you think it's just climactic, McKinley Dixon hits us with The Album Ending Could Have Been Different, which has a really catchy chorus where he duets with Shamir. Oh my god, I just want to jump off the roof. Which is like, why? What's going on? Just when the album is reached resurrection and the peak of magic, suddenly we have this existential crisis where McKinley Dixon finds a poster on his wall, stares at it, and has an existential crisis, and then the poster sort of raps back at him, and the rapper is Blue, and you can't go wrong with Blue. You really can't. It's very confusing thematically, but I love confusing endings. It was confusing served well. So yeah, overall this is a fantastic album. So creative, so colorful, so energetic, so passionate, and it's just so much fun, all in the span of 35 minutes. I cannot recommend this album enough. Probably my favorite of the year so far. I'm giving this one a light 9 out of 10. So have you listened to the new McKinley Dixon album? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.